Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, how are you? I hope you'd be fine. This is chapter number 2, exercise 2.2. Now we are going to use expressions and formula to find out the values of unknown quantities. Okay. So we just have to complete the workings to find the value of each expression in the given ones. Starting from question number 5, we will simply substitute the values of the given expressions and figure out that what would be the value of each expression as a whole. Okay. If x square plus 5 is given, where the value of x is given as 4. Okay, so what we will do, we will write x square plus 5. Then we will write 4 in place of x. Here we have an square. Then we simply apply the BODMAS rule and solve it. So first we have to find out the square of 4. That's 16 plus 5 is equals to 21. That's all. We don't need to do anything else. It means x square plus 5 is equals to 21 if x is equals to 4. Next we have 10 minus y square. So 10 minus y square when y is equals to 5. So what we will do, we will write 5 square. Always remember, if minus sign is along with square, so we have to apply the square first, then we will subtract it. So it's 10 minus 25, which is minus 15. Okay. In the next part, we have part C. It says g squared plus h squared. So g is given as 3. We will find the square of 3. That's 9. Plus h is given as 6. So the square of 6 is 36. And 36 plus 9 is 45. Okay. Sometimes I also make mistakes in calculations. So beware and do it on your own so that you won't make many mistakes. M square minus n square. M is given as 7. 7 square is 49. Then we have a minus sign. N square, 8 square. 8 square is 64. 8 8s are 64. And when you will subtract 64 from 49, the answer is, I guess, 15. So it will be minus 15 because the smaller number is positive and the greater one is negative. So it's not supposed to be positive answer. Then we have 4k square. Many of the students make mistake over here. If it's 4k square, so it means we have to apply the power first, then we can only multiply. Most of the students do what? They multiply 4 with 2 first and then they apply the power. That's incorrect. This power is only applied to k, not 4. If it would have been like this, 4k to the whole square, then it would be like 4 square k square. Okay, that's the difference you must know. So here we will apply the power first. It will become 4 into 4 and that's 16. If you would have multiplied 4 with 2, which is 8, and then you would have applied the power, so it would be 64. The answer would be altogether wrong. Similarly, 3r cube where r is equals to 1. So 3 into 1 cube. It's not 3 into 1 then applying the power. That would be 27. Otherwise, it's 3 into 1 because the cube or square or any other power of 1 would remain. Keep it 1. So 3 ones are 3 and the answer would be 3. Okay. Now, in the next part, we have 2y cube where the value of y is 3. So it becomes 2, 3 3s are 9, 9 3s are 27. Then we will multiply 27 by 2 and it's 54. Similarly, x cube minus 5, where x is equals to 2. 2 cube minus 5, the cube of 2 is 8. 8 minus 5 is equals to 3. Then 20 minus w square, where w is 4. So 4 cube, 4 4s are 16, 16 4s are 64. And 20 minus 64 is equals to minus 44. Then y square is 4 square over 2, which is 4 4s are 16 over 2, and that's 8. How easy it is. You see, just need a little more practice and you'll be there. Here's the next question. This is part of Dakarai's homework. He had made a mistake in his working. So let's see what mistake he has made. Work out the value of x square minus 8. Here it is, x square minus 8, where the value of x is minus 3. So he would have kept minus 3 in place of x, then found the square of 8. Oh, upon multiplying -3 with -3, he mistakenly wrote it as -9 instead of +9. Always remember one thing, students. The square of negative numbers would always be positive. Why? Because when we multiply two negative numbers or an even set of negative numbers, the answer would always be positive because minus sign cuts the minus sign. So it would have been 9, not -9. So that's the mistake he has made over here. And that's why the answer is coming -17 instead of +1. The correct answer is +1. So this is part B. And what mistake has he made? He wrote -9 instead of 9. Okay. He calculated the square of -9 incorrectly. And then we have to find out the value of y square plus 4 when y is equals to -5. So we will write y square plus 4 where y is equals to -5. First, we will find the square of 5, which will be +25. And then we will add 4 into it, which gives us a total of 29. Here's the next question. This is part of Aditi's homework. She has made a mistake in her working. Work out the value of 5x cube. Okay, let's see what mistake has been made now. Where the value of x is -2. So she wrote it here. Oh, the mistake that I highlighted a few minutes ago. Like, what do people mostly do when there is a power over a number and a number getting multiplied to it outside the bracket? You people multiply first and then apply the power. So the mistake she has made is she did not apply BODMAS rule. BODMAS rule is not followed. That's all. Okay. So it would have been like 5 into -2 multiplied by -2 multiplied by -2, which is -8. Okay, let me tell you one more thing over here. The square of a negative number is always positive, but the cube of a negative number would also always be negative. So it's -8 over here, and upon multiplying it with 5, you will get -40. So you see the difference of not applying the BODMAS rule. The answer is getting almost in thousands. Okay, so there's a huge difference between the correct answer and the wrong answer. And the same way, we have to find the value of 2y cube where the value of y is -3. So we'll keep -3 inside. First, we will find the cube of 3, and that's 27. So it would be 3 3s are 9, 9 3s are 27. And when we will multiply it with 2, it will become -54. Question number 6 is write a formula for the number of months in any number of years in words and then in letters. So what are we supposed to do? We will simply have to write down a formula this time when the number of years are given and we have to convert it into number of months. So what are we supposed to do? We will simply write it down as, we know that months is equals to 12 multiplied by years, isn't it? We simply have to multiply the number of years by 12 to get the number of months. Like in 1 year, there are 1 multiplied by 12, 12 months. In 2 years, there will be 12 multiplied by 2, 24 months. Similarly, if I have 3 years, so 12 multiplied by 3, 36 years. In 10 years, 12 multiplied by 10 is equals to 120 months. So if we have to find out the number of months, we simply have to multiply the given number of years by 12 to get the number of months. That's all. And if we have to write it in letters, that is in variables. So let's suppose months as M and years as y. So it becomes 12 is equals, m is equals to 12y. That's all. Similarly, if you need to convert the number of days into hours, we know that one day is equals to 24 hours. So we can say that hours is equals to 24 multiplied by days. That is h is equals to 24d. Okay. And then they are saying in part B, use your formula in part A number 2 to work out the number of months in 8 years. So if we have like 8 years and we have to find out the number of months in 8 years, what are we supposed to do? We will use the formula 12 multiplied by 8. And there you go. If we multiply 12 by 8, we will get 96. It means there will be 96 months in 8 years. Okay, so M is equals to 96. Here comes question number 7, which says, this is how a taxi company works out the cost of a journey for a customer. There is a fixed charge of $6 plus $2 per kilometers. Like if you will enter into a taxi, you have to pay a fixed charge of $6. Be it you travel 2 kilometers or 4 kilometers or 10 kilometers or whatever number of kilometers you wanna travel, you have to pay $6. Okay. And then you have to write a formula for the cost of a journey in words and letters. So if you have to pay a fixed charge, the formula for the cost would be, we have to write down the formula for the cost of a journey. So we will say that cost is equals to a fixed charge of $6, which won't change. So it's a constant. The thing that is fixed will be kept in numbers. We are not going to write it down in variables. But since we have to pay 2 kilometers, $2 per kilometers, here it was $6. No kilometers were involved. But here, since kilometers are involved, so we have to say that it would be 2 into kilometers, number of kilometers. The more the number of kilometers, the more we have to pay. The less the number of kilometers, the less we have to pay. And that's all. Nothing else is involved over here. So we are supposed to write it as 6 plus 2 into kilometers. Like if we will travel 4 kilometers, we have to pay 4 multiplied by 2. If we have to travel 10 kilometers, we have to pay 10 multiplied by 2. If we have to travel 5 kilometers, it would be 5 multiplied by 2. But with every number of kilometers, we have to pay a fixed charge of $6. Okay. So in words, it would be cost is equals to 6 plus 2 into kilometers. And in letters, it would have been C is equals to 6 plus 2K. And here it goes. This is how you are going to make your formula. That's all. Okay? Then they are saying use your formula in part A2 to work out the cost of a journey of 35 kilometers. So let's say if you are traveling 35 kilometers, so how would you solve it? You will write the formula as it is. Since you have to find out the total cost of 35 kilometers, so it would be 6 for the fixed charge, then 2 multiplied by 35, which is 70. So 6 plus $70 are to be paid as the total cost, which is $76. Okay, it means you have to pay $76 if you want to travel 35 kilometers. 70 for the 35 kilometers because you have to pay $2 per kilometer. For every kilometer, you have to pay $2. So it would be 70 for 35 kilometers and then a $6 fixed charge, which would make it a total of $76. Now use the formula V is equals to U plus 10T to work out the value of V when U is given and T are given. So the formula we are given over here is V is equals to U plus 10T. Here we have two components, U and T. So for U, it's given as 5. For T, it's given as 12. It's just like there is a fixed charge of 5. Or we can say that, yes, whatever value of U is fixed. And then 10 is a variable. 10 is a charge with a variable T. Okay. So 10 12s are 120 and 120 plus 5 is equals to 125. So V is equals to 125 if U is equals to 5 and T is equals to 12. Similarly, if U is equals to 8 and T is equals to 15, then 10 plus 15 is equals to 10 multiplied by 15 is equals to 150 and 150 plus 8 is 158. And if U is equals to 0 and T is equals to 20, so it would be 10 into 20. You can see that 10 is fixed over here. 10 is a constant. Okay. So 0 would be removed and 10 20s are 200. So V is equals to 200. So you see in all these expression, we are getting different answers. Why? Because the values of V are dependent on the values of U and T. Okay. Since the values of U and T are different, that's why we are getting different answers for the three expressions. Okay. Now, in question number 9, it says use the formula F is equals to MA to work out F when when the values of M and A are given. So we have to do it the same way we did question number 8. If F is equals to MA, M is equals to 6, A is equals to 2, 6 2s are 12. Okay. Similarly, in part B, M is equals to 18, 18 multiplied by 3, it's 54. In part C, M is equals to 8, A is equals to minus 4, 8 4s are 32. The answer will be minus 32 and that's all. You see? Now, the next question says, question number 10, the height of a horse is measured in hands and inches. So here the formula we are supposed to use is H and I, involves H and I. This formula is used to work out the height of a horse in centimeters. What is the formula used to calculate its height? C is equals to 2.5 bracket 4H plus I. So what are we supposed to do? We have to see the number of hands, number of inches. We'll multiply the number of hands with 4, add number of inches into it. Whatever answer we will get, we will then multiply it with 2.5. Okay. So let's see what are we supposed to do the next. Pasha has a horse with a height of 16 hands and 1 inch. Okay. They are giving us the quantities over here, 16H, 1I. H is equals to 6, I is equals to 1. And she uses the formula to work out the height of her horse. C is equals to 2.5. And what she did, she multiplied 4 with 16 first, she got 64, added 1 into it, the inches, she got 65. Then she multiplied 65 with 2.5 and the final answer was 162.5. So we have to do the same thing over here when we are provided with the heights and inches. So what are we supposed to do? For part A, it would be 2.5 bracket 4 multiplied by 14 plus 2. That's all we have to do. So 4 multiplied by 14 is 56. 56 plus 2 is equals to 58. And then we will multiply it with 2.5. The final answer would be 145. You see what we did? We simply multiplied the number of hands, 14 with 4, because 4 is a constant over here. So we have to multiply 14 with 4. We got 56. Then we added the number of inches into it, which was 2. So it became 58. Okay. And then after getting 58, we multiplied it with a constant that is 2.5. So upon multiplying it with 2.5, we got 145. And that's all. Similarly, we have to do the same thing over here in part B, C and all. So 4 multiplied by 15 is 60. 60 plus 3 is equals to 63. Okay. And then we will multiply 63 with 2.5. The answer will be 157.5. Right? In part C, it's 13 hands. So it will be 2.5 multiplied by 13 multiplied by 4, which is 52. And then add 1 into it, it becomes 53. 53 multiplied by 5.2. The answer is 275.6. Okay, 13 multiplied by 4 plus 1. For part D, it would be 2.5 into 17 multiplied by 4 plus 2. Because whatever number of hands are given, we have to multiply it by 4. Here it's 17, so we'll multiply it by 4. It will give us 68. Then we will add the number of inches into it. It becomes 70. Then we will multiply it with 2.5. So here are 3 to 4 steps involved in each of these parts. Same way part E. There are just 16 hands, no more inches. So what are we supposed to do next? 2.5 into 16 multiplied by 4. No inches, so we are not supposed to add anything into it. 16 fours are 64. 64 multiplied by 2.5 is 160. So it's 160. Okay? In part F, it's 12 hands. So same thing will be happened over here. That is, we'll simply multiply 12 with 4, which is 48. And 48 multiplied by 2.5 is equals to 20. And that's all we have to do. Okay, so we'll do the remaining questions inshallah in the next video up till we have completed till question number 10. I hope it would be helpful for you. Still, if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section. Do subscribe to my channel if you are new, and don't forget to share it with your friends. Take care. Allah Hafiz.